Hi all, good morning. Last class we were discussed about some file operation, that is how we will read files. What are the different functions for that is used for reading a file? That is get C, get W, fscan, fgets, fread. Like for writing, also we are using some functions, file handling functions. Uh, put C, put W, fprintf, fputs, fwrite. These are all the functions, okay, that are used for writing something to the file. Okay, so these and all we were discussed. Then one more important file we need to discuss is FEOF. Okay, FEOF. Actually, this FEOF is a function. It is a file handling function in a C programming language. Okay. It is used to identify whether the given file is end or not. Okay, that is, which is used to find the end of the file. Okay, for finding the end of the file, we can use this function, that is FEOF. Okay, sometimes question may ask, what is the use of the function FEOF? Then you can say, this function are used to find the end of the file. Okay, this function FEOF is a function that is in the C programming language. Okay, which is used to find the end of the file. Okay, so this is the syntax. This will be the syntax for writing the function FEOF. Okay, this is the syntax. First, you need to write the function name. Here, the function name is FEOF. So, FEOF. Inside that, you need to specify that file pointer. Okay, you need to specify that file pointer. Then, if the file is returning a value that is 0, then what the value 0, then it will indicate the end of the file. Okay, otherwise it will return 1. Okay, so it will return two value, either 0 or 1. Okay, if the file is if it is detected the file end, that means it will what return the value 0. Else, if the file is not n, then it will return the value 1. Okay, so this is what the usage of FEOF function. Okay, you need to remember that. Okay, so in your program and all, it will be useful. That is, FEOF is a function used to find the end of the file. Okay, now we can see some examples. Okay, some example to write and read something from the file. Okay, here in this first example, it is a simple program to read the content of a file and then print it onto the output screen. Okay, that is the question. Okay, that means first we need to read the content from a file. Okay, first we need to read the content from a file. Then after reading that content, what we need to do? We need to display that into a output screen. Output screen means our monitor. Monitor means in C programming we need to display that content into the command prompt, isn't it? Okay, so that is the question. Okay, so for reading a file, first we need to open that file, then only we can read the content. Okay, so first we need to open the file. Okay, while opening that file, we need to check one condition. What is that condition? Yeah, whether the file is exist or not. Okay, that means sometimes the file pointer may be pointing somewhere else, then you may get some errors. Okay, then first we need to check that whether the file pointer is null or not. If it is null, means the file pointer is not pointing to the exact file. Okay, then we can say it is an error. Okay, so first step is we need to open the file. Okay, that is the first step. After opening that file, we can read the file. Okay, so there are lots of functions we have studied that for reading file. Lots of functions. Okay, in last class we were discussed that how we will read the function. So any of the function you can use for reading that. Okay, then after reading that, what do you need to do? You need to display that content to the output. Okay, so these are the steps. Okay, so first we need to open, then read by using file reading function. Then after that, you need to display that value. Okay, so this is the program. This is the program. So every program we need to write what hashing load IO.h, because we are performing some input output operations. Okay, all these operations are all the functions associated with the basic operations of C programming are defined inside the header file, that is stdio.h. Okay, so after that, this is the main program. Okay, inside that main program we can write our program. Okay, so here I'm reading an integer value. Okay, I'm reading an integer value from file. Okay, I'm reading an integer value from file. So for reading an integer value, after reading that, you need to hold that value into a particular variable. Okay, so first we need to declare a variable to hold that value, isn't it? Okay, so for that, here I am using an integer type of variable. This is that. First, how will you declare the integer type of variable? First, we need to write the keyword int. After that, you can write the variable name. Here I am using the variable name is now. Okay, so in the now. So first I have declared the variable now. Then next we are going to perform a file operation. So for file operation, first we need to declare a file pointer. That is also we have discussed in the last class. Okay, so for every file operation, first it requires to declare a file pointer. How we will declare the file pointer? How we will declare the file pointer? First we need to use the keyword file followed by we can specify the file pointer. This is a pointer, so we need to put the asterisk in there. Okay, so here fptr, this is the file pointer we have declared here. Okay, fptr. Okay, so this is our file point. So I have declared a variable and a file pointer. So after declaring the variable, file pointer, we can open the file. Okay, we can open the file. So which function we are used for opening a function file? Which function we will use to open a file? Anybody? Which function we are used to open it? We need to open a file. So which function we will use? Anybody? Okay, so fopen. Okay, so fopen is the function we are used to perform file opening operations. Okay, so we can use fopen. Okay, in that fopen, different arguments are there. First, we need to specify the location of the file where it is. Okay, first we need to specify the location of the file. Then next argument will be the mode of. Okay, there are different modes are there. That also we have discussed that. Read mode is there, write mode is there, append mode is there. Different modes are there. Here, in this question, our question is to read the content, isn't it? Our question is to read the content. So for reading, we had to open the file in read mode. Okay, so this is that statement. FPDR is equal to F open. First argument is equal to the location of the file. Here, program.txt is the file name, and it is located uh, in the C. Okay, C, that means directory C. Okay, it is located in the directory C. Okay, C, inside that there is a file that is program.txt. So we are going to open that file, program.txt. Okay, comma, we need to read the content from that file, so we need to specify uh, the mode as R. Okay, mode is R. Then while opening that file, we will check whether it is correctly opened or not. Okay, so for that we can use a condition. That is, if this file open is correct, that means you can point the file pointer to this particular file. Okay, if it is okay, then there is no problem. Else you will get a null value. That means the file pointer cannot point to the particular file. Okay, so in that case you will get a null value. If it is null, means there are some errors happened. Okay, so you can print the error in opening file. Okay, that means if that fopen will return a null value, that means you cannot open that file. Okay, in that case it will return a null value. If the value is null, means there is an error. At that time you can exit the program. Okay, no problem. So that is, then after opening the file, okay, suppose there is no error. Okay, then it will automatically open the file. Okay, so after opening the file, you can read the content. Okay, you can read the content. There are lots of functions are there for reading content from the file. Okay, lots of functions are. We have studied different functions. Okay, so any function you can use to read the content from that file. Here I am using fscanf. Okay, fscanf. Okay, so fscanf. What is the use of fscanf? It is used to read multiple type values. Okay, so fscanf is a function which is used to read the content from the file. Okay, so these are the argument in that fscanf function. First argument will be the file pointer. That means we are going to read the file, that is program.txt. Okay, txt. So that is the file pointer. Then here from that file we are going to read an integer value. Okay, from that file we are going to read an integer type of value. So we need to specify the format specifier as %d, because we are going to read the integer type of value. Okay, then %d, then that value we will store it in the variable where now. Okay, that value we will store it in the variable num. Okay, so for that what you need to specify the address of that variable. How we will specify the address? You can specify the address by using ampersand operator. Okay, so ampersand now. That means you have read the value from the file and stored that value into the variable num. Okay, now the value of the variable will be the value that is that have been read from the file. Okay, then now variable num got the values. Okay, then that value you can directly print to your output unit. For that you can use the printf statement. Okay, normal printf statement, because you are going to print the value to the output. Okay, so for printing the value we can use printf. Okay, so the value is %d comma now. It will be printed. So after performing your complete operation, what you can do? You can close the file. Okay, f close. Inside that you have to specify the file pointer. Okay, so f close fptr. Okay, so this is all. Okay, so this is the simple program to read the content of a file and then print it on the output screen. Okay, so this is a simple program. Okay, similarly, next uh, next program is write to a text file. That means we need to write something to a text file. That means first we need to read uh, the content from the keyboard. Okay. After reading that content, you need to store that value to the where file. Okay. First, we need to read the content from the keyboard. Okay. First, we need to read the content from the keyboard. Then, we need to store those value to the file. Okay. So, how we will perform this operation? How we will perform this operation? This is the program. Okay, that is for every C program we need to write this statement hash include std.touch, then main. Okay, inside that main, here I am reading an integer type value from keyboard. Okay, here I am reading an integer type value. Okay, after reading that integer type value, I need to store those value into a file. Okay, that is what I am going to do. Okay, so for reading an integer type of value, first I need to declare that value. That is the first statement. Okay, so this is what I have declared here. Okay, in the num. Okay, in the num. That means here I am declaring an integer type value. Okay, then for file operation, we need to declare a file pointer. Then after that, you need to open that file. Then only you can perform any operation associated with the file. If you are not opening the file, you cannot perform any operation. Okay. So after declaring the variable, you need to declare the file pointer. So for declaring the file pointer, first you need to specify the keyword file followed by declare the pointer. So for declaring a pointer, first we need to put an asterisk symbol, then fptr. Here fptr is a file pointer. Then after that, you need to open the file. Here we need to write something to the file. Okay, we need to write something to the file. So for writing, we need to open the file in writing mode. Okay, then only you can write the content, isn't it? Okay, so for opening the file in write mode, we need to specify what the mode as W. Okay, we need to specify the mode as W. Okay, now we can open the file. So for opening the file, we can use the function fopen. That is fptr is equal to fopen. Inside that, you can specify the file name. Here it is program.txt. It is located in C. Okay, so C colon program.txt. So we have opened that in write mode. Okay, now we will check whether fptr is null or not. If it is null, means there is an error for opening that file. Okay, so here we are checking that if fptr is null. If fptr is null, means we can print the error. Okay, we can print the error and we can exit. Okay, we can stop because file opening operation is failed. That is the meaning that fptr is equal to null means file opening operation is failed. You can exit. Else, what do we have to do? We need to read the value from the keyboard. Okay, we need to read the value from the keyboard. So for that, what I am doing, just I am printing a statement, enter a number. Here we are reading an integer type value. Okay, we are reading an integer type of value. So printf enter the number. Then you will enter some number. Okay, so integer type of value. Which is format is where we need to use for reading an integer type of value. We can use percentage d. Okay, percentage d, comma, ampersand now. Ampersand now. That means you will read the content from the keyboard, and that content will be an integer type value, and that will be stored into the variable num. Okay, now the variable num will get the value that you have entered in the keyboard. Okay, then after that, you can write that value to the file. Okay, you can write the value to the file. So for writing value, integer type of value to a file, the for write operation there are also different functions are there, that also we studied. Okay, here I am using fprintf. Okay, fprintf. Fprintf, what is the usage of fprintf? It is used to write a content to the file. Okay, so fprintf, then first we need to specify the file pointer. Here the file pointer is this one, that means it is pointing to program.txt. So first I have to specify that fptr. Then here I am going to write an integer type value. Okay, I am going to write an integer type of value, so I can use percentage d comma num. Okay, comma now. That means it will be write the value that is present in the variable num to where file. Okay. Then after that operation, you can close the file. You can close the file. F by using fclose. You can close the file. Fclose fptr. It will be close. So that is write something to the file. Okay, suppose a program they asked you to read a data from the keyboard and write it to a text file. Okay, then what you will do? Here we need to read a file that is string. Okay, we need to read a string type value. Okay, we need to read a string type value, and we need to display that. Write it to the where we need to write that into the file. But in this program, you also need to enter the file name also. Okay, you also need to give the file name also. First, you need to give the file name, then you need to enter some value, then that value you need to insert into that corresponding file. So that is the question. So it is C program read a data from the keyboard and write it to text file. Okay. So for that, first statement is include statement, hash include stdio.h. Here I am using void main. Then first I had to declare the file pointer file star fp. Then here what we are going to read a character. Okay, we are going to read a character. So here we need to write a character type array. Okay, so I have not used array here, so you need to write this is a ch is actually a character type array. Okay, you need to write like this, ch say 120. Okay, for reading string you need to use character array, isn't it? So here you need to write the character type array. Then you also enter the file name. So for reading that file name, I have used this file. Okay, that is also a character type array. Okay, then CLR. Okay, no need to study that. Actually, that is we are using in Turbo C compiler, so no need to write that. Okay, so first you need to enter the file name. So you will enter the file name. That will be a string. So for reading a string, you can use percentage s. Then that will be stored into the character type array, that is file. Okay, now the value of file is the name that you have entered in the keyboard. Okay, so next you need to open the file. For opening, we can use fopen, that is fp, that will be the file pointer. Fp is equal to fopen. You can write the file name. File name will be in the variable file. Okay, so you can open that in write mode. Okay, that is as usual. Last two programs we have studied that. Okay, next we will check whether the file is opened or not. Okay, by using this statement. Okay, fp is equal to null. If fp is equal to null means there is an error for opening the file. You can print that file could not be opened. Okay, that and all correct. Then next you need to enter the data. Okay, so you will enter some data. Then by using gets, you can read the data that we already studied in the case of string. Okay, you can read the data. Then f puts, what you will do? Next, നമുക്ക് എന്ത് ചെയ്യാം? അപ്പോൾ get ch use ചെയ്തിട്ട് we can read the data. Okay, we can read the data from the keyboard. Okay, we can read the data from the keyboard. Okay, we can read the data from the keyboard. അപ്പോൾ ch എന്ന് പറയുന്ന character type arrayയിൽ you will read the data. Okay, then by using f puts, you can put that into where? File. Okay, f put means it is a file writing operation. Okay, it is a file writing operation. So f puts ch comma fp. Okay, f put ch comma fp. That means you will write the content that are read from the keyboard to that corresponding file ch comma fp. After the file operation, you can close the file. You can close the file. Okay, so this is a simple file read and write. Read operations. Okay, write operations. Okay, then next is sequential file and sequential access and random access of file. Okay, what is the difference between sequential access and random access? Anybody have any idea about that? What is the difference? Sequential access and random access. Have you heard the term sequential and random? Anybody? Sequential access. In normal case, what is sequential access? Yeah, correct. Sequential means it is in a correct order, one after the other. Okay, then what is random? Random means, what is random? What is random? There is no order. Okay, suppose if you want to access a particular point, you can directly access that point. Suppose I will explain with an example. Suppose here I have written 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 numbers I have written here. Okay, 7 numbers. Suppose if you are accessing the numbers in sequential order, then in that case, if you need to access the number 6, then first you need to access 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. After accessing 5 only, you can access 6. That is what sequential access. Okay, that means you cannot change the order of accessing. That means you need to access the first record, then you need to access the second record, then you need to access the third record, then you need to access the fourth record, then fifth, then only you can access what sixth record. Okay, so that is sequential access. Then in case of random access, suppose if you want to access the same number 5, then if you know the file location, the location of that record, then you can directly access that. Okay, you don't need to wait for the previous records. Okay, you can directly access those records. Okay, so that is what random. That is a simple difference. Okay, so in sequential, you need to maintain a sequential order to access the particular record. But in random, you can directly access that. Okay, so that is why we sometimes in random access we will call it as direct access also. Okay, sometimes, okay, we will call random access as direct access. Okay, so in sequential file, in this type of file, data kept in sequential order. Okay, data kept in sequential order. If we want to read the last record of the file, then we need to read all the records before that record. That I have explained to you. Okay, that means if you want to read the record 7, then you need to access all the records that is written before that record. Okay, you need to access all the previous records also. Then only you can access the last record. So that is sequential access. And with the sequential file, a new data is added on the end of the file. That means if you want to add a new data, then you can add that in the end of that file. Okay, like our old music cassette and all. Okay, നമ്മുടെ പഴയ കാസറ്റുകളൊക്കെ ഓർമ്മയുണ്ട്. അപ്പൊ അതിലൊക്കെ ആണെങ്കിൽ നമുക്ക് ഒരു സോങ് സെലക്ട് ചെയ്യണമെങ്കിൽ നമുക്ക് എന്ത് ചെയ്യണം അല്ലേ? ഡയറക്റ്റ് ആയിട്ട് CD സെലക്ട് ചെയ്യുന്ന പോലെ സെലക്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റില്ലല്ലോ. ഒന്ന് കഴിഞ്ഞ് വൺ ആഫ്റ്റർ അതർ ആ രീതിയിലല്ലേ സെലക്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും. But that is an example of sequential access file. Okay, sequential access files are like old cassette music tapes also. Then in random access file, what the computer system can read or write information anywhere in the data file, anywhere. Okay, that means in this type of file, data can be read and modified randomly. That means if you want to read the last record, you can directly read that. Okay, if you want to read the last record, you can directly read that record. So that is why this type of operation we will call it as direct access also. Okay, direct access. Sometimes question may ask, what are the difference between in 3 marks and all? What are the difference between sequential file and random file? Answer പറയാൻ പറ്റുമല്ലോ അല്ലെ? Sequential file means you need to maintain a sequential order. Okay. Then read and write operation ആ ഓർഡറിൽ പെർഫോം ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും. അതായത് ലാസ്റ്റ് റെക്കോർഡ് റീഡ് ചെയ്യണമെങ്കിൽ അതിന് മുന്നേയുള്ള എല്ലാം ആക്സസ് ചെയ്തതിന് ശേഷമേ നമുക്ക് ലാസ്റ്റ് റെക്കോർഡ് ആക്സസ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും. ബട്ട് ഇൻ റാൻഡം യു ക്യാൻ ഡയറക്ട്ലി ആക്സസ് ദാറ്റ്. Okay, there is no order for that. You can read and write operation perform anyway. Okay, so that is sequential file and random file access. ഇനി അതിന്റെ ഡീറ്റെയിൽഡ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഫങ്ഷൻസ് നമുക്ക് കുറച്ച് പഠിക്കാനുണ്ട്. അത് നമുക്ക് അടുത്ത ക്ലാസ്സിൽ എടുക്കാം. ഓക്കെ, അപ്പോൾ ഇന്ന് നമ്മൾ 2-3 എക്സാമ്പിളുകളുമാണ് പറഞ്ഞത്. ദെൻ വാട്ട് ഈസ് സീക്വൻഷ്യൽ ഫയൽ ആൻഡ് റാൻഡം ഫയൽ, ഇത്രയാണ് നമ്മൾ പറഞ്ഞത് അല്ലേ?